I am with Mike Allen. He is CEO of Eclipse Gold Mining. Mike is very familiar with the Nevada region where he's currently operating with Eclipse. But Mike, maybe you could catch us up on your previous experience in the Nevada region.
Yeah, in the most recent experience prior to Eclipse, I was the CEO of a company called Northern Empire. We were working, like Eclipse is in the Walker Lane. We acquired an asset called the Sterling. We were able to acquire that, essentially held the property for just over a year and a half, and did some drilling, established a new resource, and we're able to transact and sell the company 16 months later to Core Mining.
Now, can you catch us up to Eclipse right now, leading that from Northern Empire? I know that you were looking around for a while for your next project.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, myself, I'm a geologist, so by background, I never stop looking. But what I looked for about a year at the different assets. I pretty much held myself to Nevada. I've had success, and I know the jurisdiction well. Wanted another Walker Lane asset, and was able to find what we call the Hercules project. It's about an hour outside of Reno.
You're a unique insider with the success that you had with Northern Empire, and I know that Eclipse is certainly exciting and you're investing your time in it. But maybe if you could just step back, as like if you're going and you're looking at all of the plethora of projects, kind of what is your checklist when you look down and just generally assessing what is a good opportunity?
I mean, for me, on a project scale, I sort of use the 43101 table of contents as a guideline. I mean, everything, you got to make sure that you own it. Metallurgy is a big one. The resource, the geology, and can this actually get big? Those are one of the things that I sort of look at. You always have to have that thought in the back of your mind that eventually this isn't a chemistry experiment. This is actually a business that you have to go through. So that is really the point for me. Is I look strongly at the economics and what is what can make a mine, and largely that is grade, ton, metallurgy, permitting, and scale.
Take us through Eclipse, how it came to you, and what was exciting about the project, and where you're at right now.
Well, I think that where I first came really across the property was PDAC 2019, and came across a company that had it. They were a lithium focused company, and they had this asset on their balance sheet. Looked worthy of taking a look at it. We went out there and had a look at it in May of last year, and what clearly shocked us was the scale of it, and that was probably the first impression. Was it's not what our impression was, that this is a small thing, has a chance, but would need some luck. And then when we get onto the site, the absolute scale of it was phenomenal. There was kilometers and kilometers of alteration and mineralization exposed at surface, and you just sort of went, "Whoa, this is not what I was expecting." And so it immediately checked that, okay, this has got scale. Then you go into the things of the more technical parts of it. What sort of grades were there? At the time, there were 20-gram surface samples that were around some historic drill holes that had some good numbers in it. And you say, okay, there's some grade here. We also did a dive into the permittability of it. That it's Nevada, and there's no hot button issues there for permitting. No First Nations, no sage grouse, nothing like that. Metallurgy, there was some preliminary metallurgy, and it looked like this project would trend towards being a heap leach. So you sort of got a really good idea. And then the final thing was that it was open for additional staking, and that was sort of along the lines of what we did with Northern. Was we had these deposits at Northern and at Hercules, we've got these showings, and then a whole area around it that had never been staked down or hadn't seen modern work on it. And so we were able to stake down 85 square kilometers, good sized land package. We were able to acquire some additional data that suggested there's drilling further to the south beyond what we originally had. There's holes there 38 meters at 0.64. So there's more grade to be had. And it really gives you that sense that you're into a system that is truly big in Nevada. And it was quite, I don't know, coup is that the right word? But it was quite a thing to come up with in this day and age.
What is the stage that you're at right now?
We're drilling. You know, the whole COVID thing, you know, various jurisdictions have had ups, downs, turn things on. Quebec just went back, but Nevada maintained that mining is an essential business. And we took the step of before we really got going with our drill program, of asking our contractors, let's put some thought together here and do a COVID standard operating procedure. Let's make sure everybody's you know, socially distancing, have a good safety meeting. We're also checking temperatures of all the employees when they come on shift, when they go off shift. So if anybody starts running a fever, we've got a way of dealing with that. So, and that's one of the real advantages of doing work in Nevada, is the contractors all have got standard operating procedures for various things, and we're just able to modify one quickly and get an idea as to how we were going to manage this situation.
Has there been any other impact larger for people like yourselves as far as dealing with COVID, either from suppliers getting parts or coordinating the suppliers?
I think that the coordination is probably the biggest thing. You know, when it was just about the middle of March, Nevada declared a state of emergency, similar to what happened in Canada, and they closed all non-essential businesses. And there was about a week while we were creating our standard operating procedure where nobody really knew what an essential business was. And then the government came out and defined it. But you know, the drillers were concerned about, you know, being able to get, you know, decent places to stay, you know, supplies for cleaning of equipment to maintain their safety. And so I think it's really probably been the biggest disruption. And I think that's what we're going to see going forward, is sort of that supply chain trickle down of people not working, and then you know, how that impacts downstream users of products.
You know, you're specific to Nevada, but I know that you're tied in with the industry. Talking to other people, have you noticed an impact upon people that are in different regions or at different stages at all?
I mean, off the top of my head, I think that, you know, Mexico shut down mining period the end. You know, and so companies are having to do, you know, a controlled stop of their operations. Quebec shut down mining, and now they've actually restarted mining, and people are wondering what that means for exploration, whether or not people can actually execute. But yeah, it is a tough situation. I actually read an interesting article the other day that miners deal with, you know, disasters on a regular basis, whether it's you know, a commodity crunch or whatever. And so we're actually sort of uniquely situated to be able to say, okay, this is the situation that we have to deal with. Let's make the best of it. So it is kind of a proud moment to be in the mining space and say, yeah, we can handle this. I mean, you know, God forbid, some of the African producers, they deal with things like Ebola, and this is a cakewalk relative to that.
Let's move forward, because this will be past us eventually, Mike. You had the success again going back with Northern Empire. So taking those lessons forward to your current project, what makes a project successful? What lessons have you learned, and how are you applying it going forward?
I think probably the biggest thing that makes a project successful is speed. Being able to quickly unearth the value of a project, or understand what the value of a project, that's really what will create a good company or not. If you've got seasonality or things that will take a lot of time to execute, that's when you're going to see companies fail or projects stagnate. And so I think with Eclipse, the big thing that we've got, given our management team, given our location, is that we can actually execute quickly. It's Nevada. You can work year round. You've got a management team that can raise capital in any situation, and we can execute this project and really unearth the value in the business. That's probably the key thing for us.
Mike Allen, CEO of Eclipse Gold Mining, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.